Hey everybody, 5thHorseman here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and we're back in the vertical assembly building, vehicle assembly building. I keep calling it vertical for some reason. I got a crazy ship here. This is the E.L.R.O.Y. It is Exploration, Landing, Recon, Orbit, and Y. I couldn't think of a word that started with Y that had anything to do with that. This is a very specially made craft. It's for Minmus only. I'm going to make another one for Moon. And hold on a second, I got to turn down my personal music because it's hard to talk over. Okay, so, yeah, but fairly standard looking craft at the bottom, but on the top it's kind of weird. I've got 4 pods because I don't have any way to carry people up except for in these pods. They're the cheapest way to get people up. But basically, this is the important part. This is what's going to be landing on different places on Minmus and collecting all the data, and then the Kerbal's going to jump out, grab the data, bring it back into the pod, and then we're going to jump around until we run out of fuel. And then when we run out of fuel, we're going to decide, do we want to just return to Kerbin, or do we want to go to the Kethane base there and fill up the tanks again and jump around a little bit more. The other 3 pods are going to have Kerbals in them. And one of them is going to grab the Minmus refueler ship that's currently in orbit around Kerbin and fly that back to Minmus so we can start up Kethane operations there again. And then the other 2, one's going to have a guy who's going to get in the space station, and one's going to have a guy who's going to go down to the surface with the refueler. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do that. I might put him on the ladder, but that might be kind of dangerous. And actually, I think he can fly down to the surface. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can get to the surface of Minmus from orbit with jetpacks. There might be some F5 involved in that. But anyway, we're going to hire some new crew, though, for this, because we've only got 5 guys and don't really want the people here. So let's hire some new people. Oh, who's this? H.M. Kerman the Fifth. I wonder who that is. Who could that possibly be? And oh, Nathan, that's a nice name. Ancro, I think it's Ancro, and Waffles. We're just gonna hire those guys. They're gonna be handling this mission here at least until a replacement crew can come up. But these guys are people who have asked for their names to be in the game, including me, Horseman the Fifth. So if you want your name in the game, feel free to ask. You notice we're all the same level of stupidity, and we're also very courageous, because that's what you do. So we're gonna back up here. We're gonna put Jeb in the main cockpit here, and actually, you know what? We're gonna put Jeb in just a random cockpit. And Newsor is going to be in the space station. And then let's say Nathan, I think Nathan said he wanted to be with me on the first trip, are going to be in the cockpit. Ancro and Waffles, you guys are going to be going to Moon to do the stuff there. So we've got the thing full. Hold on a second while my cats are fighting each other in the room. So, yeah, and we have an abort procedure that will decouple all these and kick all the parachutes off. Hopefully that won't be needed. We're a little tight on Delta V, but I think we're going to be fine. So let's save this guy and launch him. I believe Newsor gets to be the actual pilot. And we're going to test the science gathering capabilities of this craft here before we launch. First of all, the not falling over capabilities seems okay. A little bit off center, but that seems to happen a lot with these landing struts. What we're going to do here is we are going to hit 5, which is going to gather our data, and then we're going to keep it, and keep it. That's the 3 of these and the crew report from here. Now, whoever's in this, come on, show me the crew hatch there. Oh, hopefully this won't cause Newsor to fall. It did not, but it caused my center of gravity to go here. Now, what he's going to do is he can take these, and we're going to, basically I'm testing this here. We're going to do this on the Moon. We're going to take these data and the data out of the capsule. Then we're going to do an EVA report. And we are going to keep this data. And then we are going to get back in. And now in this capsule, we have 5 datas. We've got an EVA report. We've got seismic scan for the launch pad, gravity scan, temperature scan, and a crew report. Now, I'm going to also send these to make sure, although, you know what, he has more electric charge than he really should. But I'm going to send these just to see how much electric charge it uses. Looks like 30. The crew report took 30. I don't want to send these, though, because they're worth more. And the EVA report, let's wait until we're back up to... we'll just do it now. We'll just go from 190. That looks like that also took 30. Or no, it took 40, because 90 to 50 was 40. And then we're going to keep this data, and keep this data, and keep this data. Okay. And then basically that's what he's going to do as he jumps around the moon. He's going to transmit back the stuff that's worth 100%. He's going to keep all the stuff that's not worth 100%. And then eventually we are going to... he's going to have a very full capsule of all these experiments, and he's going to come home with them. So we're going to turn on the computer. We're going to crank up the volume. We're going to realize that we didn't do our staging correctly. Other than that, though, I'm pretty sure the staging is correct. And we're going to count down to 3, 2, 1, launch. Oh, and I installed this achievements mod. I didn't know that it gives you science when you make your achievements. So that's going to be a little bit of a bonus that I didn't expect. And to be honest, it's welcome. So we're cruising up here. Our atmospheric efficiency is getting really high, really fast. I was kind of expecting that with this craft because he's a little bit overpowered on the bottom. But that's okay. The faster we get to max, the better. And it looks like we're going to ditch these fuel tanks right before we have to throttle down. Yeah, I have not launched this ship. I haven't even tested it. I haven't done anything. Atmospheric efficiency is going down, which is interesting. I have not yet throttled down, except for that accidental throttle down right there. We're cruising through fuel. We're at 5,000, so I'm going to tap it over just a little bit. And now I'm watching my apoapsis here. By the time it gets to 10, I'm going to want to be at around 70, I think. So I'm just going to slowly work my way over here. I guess our thrust to weight does go down each time we're doing this, but I was kind of expecting... I'm flying! We got 5 science for that. Let's see. Oh, we're well over 10 now. And when it gets to 20, we're going to want to be at this 45 mark, as usual. And here goes our tanks. Goodbye. Yeah, the torque in the capsules is basically doing everything we need as far as... Okay, we're at 20. There you go. It's doing everything we need as far as controlling the craft, which is pretty cool. We basically don't have to worry about that. Now, we're essentially just cruising to orbit. So this seems to be going pretty normal. I will come back when we're in orbit. Okay, we are cruising up to our apoapsis of 80. We've got a lot in the tank still. The delta V in the current stage is at 1521. When I wanted to get to orbit, I was hoping to still have 1,000 in the tank, and I'm obviously fine. So my ascent profile was essentially awesome. I am using the Targetron to find my Minmus fuel lifter. We're going to set him as a target. Looks like he's ahead of us and down. So we actually started in a really crappy time. Well, not really crappy, but kind of crappy. He's also in a fairly low orbit at 75. So we want to keep this thing below 75, which is going to be interesting, we'll say. But not a big deal. Especially because our apoapsis is already over 80. But we'll worry about that when the time comes. The whole goal here is to just... Oh, the air's getting thin up here. Oh, and I also... what do we got? We got 2 minutes before apoapsis. We are going to... Nuzor is going to go EVA. Oh. Good thing that didn't happen. I think that's a mistake there. It says jump without using a jetpack. All I did was get out of my capsule. Okay, we're going to grab this. I took some readings while we were out, but take the data. It was just a crew report and the temperature because the other ones can't be done while you're here. So we're going to take the data and then store it and then get back in, which is what you do. And then we're going to hit 5 again for more science. Space above Curvin's water. I'm going to keep that. That's not worth anything. That's worth something. And we're going to EVA again. Seriously? You just don't want to... Hold on. I'm glad that you didn't fall off when you were on the launch pad. That's for sure. That would have been bad. Okay, so let's see. Seismic scan. There's nothing there. Take this data. We're going to take this data. We're going to store our experiments, and I guess I didn't need to really store them, but okay, so that's it for that. We still have our target, which is sweet. I don't know if the Targetron is responsible for that or not, but if it is, I appreciate it. Let's see. We are 20 seconds from apoapsis. We need to get our periapsis up to... Actually, let's just get it up to 80. This is going to be kind of a long time here. And let's see, we're above the horizon. 2, 3, 4. And... yeah, 87 by 78. It's kind of crappy, but it'll work. Okay, now we have the Minmus fuel lifter is really far ahead of us in the orbit, which honestly kind of sucks. But let's bring up Kerbal alarm clock. Let's add an alarm for closest. 43 kilometers on orbit 9. That works for me. We are going to be boring and... let's flip ourselves around. We've only got solar panels on the top here. This entire craft is, yeah, we've got 1296. We've got 300 more delta V than I wanted. But yeah, the only solar panels on this craft are on the top because this is all just going to be tossed aside. Once we get to Minmus, the goal is to get this thing on a collision course once we get everybody out of it. And then... crash this into Minmus and then do all the landing and stuff on this. So we've got our solar panels in the sun. We are 4 hours away from this actually happening. So I will... actually, I'm going to go into... it is free mode that we want. I'm going to go into free mode. I am going to put Kerbin on the horizon. Oh, look at that. Glorious. We're going to wait until we get a nice backlit spaceship here. There we go. And... actually, let's wait till we get over Cairo, because it'll be... oh, yeah, this is going to be nice. Where's Cairo? There it is. Oh, and our ship is not in the sun anymore. Anyway, you don't need to watch this. I will be back when we are actually rendezvousing with our ship. Okay, I can't get a good intercept with the with my target. However, even though we're kind of a crazy distance away from it, I think I'm gonna try when we're here, just doing an EVA. It's not a great amount or a great closeness or anything. But I think we're going to do it anyway. Actually, now that we're in the light, I think we're just going to do it. And it's going to be Jeb. Jeb's in control of this mission. He's going EVA. He's letting go. He's turning on his RCS. He's saying goodbye to these guys. He's hitting F5. And he is heading off. We're going to set this as our target. He's just not really doing this correctly. He might actually go all the way over here, intersect 2. Separation 79 kilometers. So if he burns towards it again... Now it's worse, which is awesome. Really, my focus is already on Kerbin. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let's see. That's the problem with orbital mechanics here, is you don't really know what you need to do. I obviously need to... Whoops, go down. Because that will shorten my orbit and make me go faster. There we go. 70 kilometers away. Let's try more of that. Let's go down to 4.3. And, oh, 61 kilometers away. That works. Let's go down to 4.0. 4.1. 40 kilometers. Oh, I think we got it. Let's go down to 3.9. 5. 27 kilometers. This is working. 3.8. 14 kilometers. Let's go down to 3.75. 10 kilometers. Let's go down to 3.65. 3 kilometers. Okay, we're going to leave it at that. We're going to fast forward. Jeb's taking the inside track here. And they're coming around the bend. Jeb knows what he's doing. Okay, where is your target? It's up above you. So now we need to... Actually, we need to burn the same direction, towards Kerbin. Okay, so now you're facing upward, so now we need to burn down again. Probably about the same amount we did before. Let's go down to 3.3, and then we'll check it out. Yeah, we definitely need to... Yeah, we can actually just eyeball it now. We basically want it to be standing still relative to us. Which it looks like it almost is here. Used almost half of our fuel, but we've definitely got the bulk of this thing done here. 1.7 kilometers is our distance from it. We're going to burn towards it a little bit here. 1.6 kilometers seems good. 1.4. Oh, closest approach. Yeah, we don't care about this anymore, so let's close the alarm and unpause. What's our closest approach here? 1.4. Yeah, we're... Need to burn down a little bit to keep him from going down. Into the right a little bit. Okay, now we're just going to slow down because we're coming in fast. Jeb is... I think... Yeah, Jeb was burning the right way. Okay. We are stopped relative to the station, which is awesome. So Jeb was able to EVA rather than waste the fuel to align our orbits Jeb decided he was just going to EVA to the Minmus fuel lifter and do it that way, which is awesome. And I should mention here while we're doing this that the reason why we're picking up the Kethane operation again and concentrating on that is because we want to go to Moho in 25 days. And if we want to do that, we're going to need possibly the Kethane operation definitely, and possibly even try to get an extraplanetary launch pad set up in orbit around Minmus. I don't know how practical that is, but that's plan A, we'll say. I would love to launch from Minmus to get to Moho. That would save a ton of Delta V, that's for sure. So, there we go. Jeb, this thing's been in orbit for 10 years almost. 9 years, give or take. Looks like it's upside down in relation to Kerbin. Looks like you're going to get there right before sunset. Use a little bit of our fuel to speed up a little bit, but don't want to use too much of it because this is the most EVA fuel I've used in a long time. Oh, and one thing I keep forgetting with the pods is I keep forgetting to take the monopropellant out. So I've got all 4 of those pods have monopropellant in them, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to be dragging that monopropellant around till the end of time. Okay, come on, Jeb. Yeah, we only really trust Jeb and Nuzor to pilot these things right now. But, we'll give the cadets the, there we go. Get in there, and now we have a ship that has tons of fuel. And we're just going to send this guy back to Minmus. So, Minmus, where's our target? Set that as a target, and it's actually looking like a really good deal to burn right here. Let's just see what happens if we burn right here. Whoops, that won't work. What happens if we burn here correctly? That is pretty freaking sweet. I think we're going to go for that. Okay, let's actually, if we can do that, then we can almost definitely do this with the E.L.R.O.Y. Let's switch to E.L.R.O.Y. We're going to do the same thing with Nuzor. Okay, let's set Minmus as a target. So my timing was crap as far as getting to the station, but the reason they did that is because they knew that this encounter was coming up and we were going to be able to get to Minmus. Look at that. Got an encounter already. Okay, we're just going to do these. So E.L.R.O.Y. gets to go first. It is a... Yeah, it's about a minute-long burn, and then we got to jump to the other one. So I think I'm going to cheat this one forward a little bit. In time, let's go 100 seconds. That's way too much. But we can do that. I think that works. Because we need to have as much time between these things as possible. Yeah, I think 2 minutes is fine. Because it's going to take a minute to get the burn down, and then we can jump to the other ship. So, let's close the alarm details. And let's get aimed at our maneuver node. Yeah, there's a reason. The reason this thing is named E.L.R.O.Y. is because the original design had a chair instead of a capsule. But you can't store experiments in a chair. I guess in theory, the Kerbal could hold all the experiments. But I don't know. Well, that just didn't sit well with me. So it's going to be about a minute. So right about the same time this alarm would happen, which kind of sucks because we got all these things happening at the same time. But that's what happens sometimes. Yeah, I'm going to assume it's a minute, so I'm going to go down to 30 seconds before. and then start it. Which means, yeah, I'm going to say... do not delete this on close, and let's just close the alarm and unpause. And at 30 seconds, I'm going to crank the engines up here. Burning into the sun. Looks like I was just about right, a little bit under, but not a big deal. Don't really need the maneuver node anymore. But I think I'll keep it. Because it seems like whenever I think I don't need the maneuver node anymore, I end up wanting it later. So I can compare something to compare my burn to. But, yeah, one thing it is important to at least get into some sort of orbit with this ship before it runs out of fuel. Because we cannot... The hitchhikers around the bottom don't have any engines of their own. So if I have to, I'm going to transfer fuel into that bottom stage to get the last bit of it. But hopefully I won't have to worry about that. But as soon as I get an encounter here with Minmus, which is happening right there. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to kill this maneuver node, and we are going to jump to this guy and restore his maneuver node. Because he's probably got about the same, although he has totally different thrust to weight and delta V and all that stuff. But, yeah, it looks like he has... I have no idea how much he has. That's kind of crazy. It's in a minute. I want to do a test burn. Seriously? That's your ISP? Wow. Okay, well this is going to take several orbits to do. So obviously we're not going to be doing it at this orbit. Yeah, Jeb, you're going to burn for 2 minutes here. And then we are going to orbit, and you're going to burn for 2 minutes again, and we're going to orbit, and you're going to burn for 2 minutes, etc. That's just the way it's going to work. So, your landing gear's down, which is never a good idea. That's pretty funny. But he'll get to Minmus eventually. Jeb don't mind. Jeb likes being in space. So we're going to burn until the node is at T plus 1 minute, and I'm going to set up a new maneuver node for the continual burning, and we will be back when the other guys are getting close to Minmus. I'm not quite at Minmus yet, but I want to try something here, and I figure you might want to see this. I have this encounter which isn't all that great with Minmus, to be honest. And I did my slowdown burn just to get into orbit and bring the periapsis down. It takes 211. I've got 324, so we're fine as far as that's concerned. We got no problem getting into orbit. These guys can then figure it out themselves. However, I'm always curious. That took 211. I want to know if I can get my periapsis down. It's too close to me, so I'm going to bring it out here a little bit. If I can bring my periapsis down even closer to Minmus with one maneuver, will it be more or less expensive in subsequent... Let me see if I can actually zoom in on Minmus here without... I would like to be centered on Minmus. There we go. Would it be better to do that or to do that 211 thing? So let's... I don't know what I need to do. I need to go anti-normal? Yeah, so let's bring it down a bit. Because we want to be parallel. We want to be like, yeah. And then I don't know if we want to burn radial or prograde. Looks like prograde. So that there costs 25, which really isn't that much when it comes down to it. And then from here, we want to add a maneuver to slow down and get into an orbit. And this is about the orbit we would have had. And this is going to cost 118 and 25. So that's a lot less. So it is better to get your periapsis close to your target before you get your orbit. So we're going to do that. We got two maneuvers here. One's going to cost 160, one's going to cost 25, and it's going to get us a nice flat-ish orbit. I think if I do this here, close the alarm. I'm going to hit F5 here, and I'm going to try this burn now and see if it works in my favor. Looks like it kind of is. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's the crazy thing that I don't know what's going on. See, I want to turn around and burn the other way now. But this is where it gets scary because I start thinking I know what I'm doing when I really don't. Yeah, I want to be burning south. Which is going to bring it around this way. And then I want to go south again. Which will bring it back down there. That works out pretty well. Ha 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 ha! Look at that. It's like I know what I'm doing. Okay. That is pretty freaking equatorial. We are going to leave it at that. I'm going to put time warp on so we lock that in. And then I am going to go here and add a maneuver to orbitize ourselves. Where are we here? We're at 14. This is at 24. So we're going to bring this one up to 24. I guess it'll be our apoapsis. We're bringing it down to 24. Just to match up with that guy, because we're gonna be wanting to meet up with him eventually. Let's get ourselves aimed that way. Oh, we can't do that because we're in. And it's 150, so we're gonna still have about 100 meters per second, which should be enough to crash this thing into Minmus. So far, everything is going swimmingly. Which is kind of shocking. Okay, but we don't have any electric charge here, so we're gonna have to flip ourselves around so that we got some solar panels in the sun. There we go. Okay, and the next thing that's going to happen here is the Minmus fuel lifter. In 18 minutes, let's go ahead and just jump to him to restore his maneuver node.